Are they the best kept secret in all of disc golf? We're about to find out. I mean, I just ordered 3 discs, and 3 of these I really needed in my bag. The first thing that I ordered was a Quake, and the Quake is DGA's mid-range disc, and it is a 5-speed, a 3-glide, a 0-turn, and a 3-fade. And this is something that I have heard is very good to flick, which, as you guys know, is very good for my game. I really just want to put that on that flat line and have it pan back out to the right. Maybe put a little ante on it, fade a little left, and then fade out and do its job. So it's a little overstable mid-range, but it'll start on whatever line you really want it to do, which is good. And we're about to see how good this thing really is. The second thing I ordered was a DGA pipeline. Now this plastic is a little flimsy, so you can get really creative with this thing. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more overstable because the stats on it are 8502, so it's very similar to a T-Bird, and it is similar to a T-Bird. It actually flies a little understable and then it'll pan back out into an overstable disc. So it is more stable to overstable, and this thing is interesting, and you can really be creative with however you want to use it. Now the final thing that I did is I got a Hypercane DGA. It is a 13 or 14 speed, I think it's 13 speed. It is just absolutely insane. Like, you need so much power behind a flick in order to get this thing going. You need so much power behind a backhand to get it going, which I don't have. So I don't think I'm the proper person to test a backhand on this, but for a forehand, I will say, if you have the flick behind it, if you have the power in your hips behind it to get it going, you can make the most out of this disc. So these 3 discs, that's 1 disc. So these 3 discs, when would I actually throw them out on the course? How do they fly? Let's go ahead to the course and I'll show you when I would actually do that. All right, Mando fan, we are here out at the park and I have my pipeline and I'm gonna throw this on hole number 1. I have my Raptor with me so you can kind of get an understanding of how the pipeline actually flies. I'm here on hole 1. It is a 295-foot par 3. A really good forehand hole for me. I can just dump it out to this left side and have it come back into the right. I'm gonna throw the Raptor first so then you can kind of compare it to, or I'm gonna throw the Raptor and then the pipeline so you can compare the pipeline to the Raptor.
Nice.
So it's high and up there, dumping down. So my Raptor there is in the middle of the fairway, probably have about a jump or step putt. Let's see what I can do with this pipeline. I know it's a little understable just from throwing it and looking at it, but let's see what we can do. There it goes, a little unstable, and that thing's flying for days. Actually, it wasn't too bad. I like that a lot. I like that like flight path of it. It kind of reminded me of a T-Bird. So maybe on the next hole, I'll compare it to a T-Bird because the next hole I would throw a T-Bird. So let's do that. You can see a T-Bird kind of flip up there. I was thrown very high, so it wasn't my best throw. All right, so if I throw the same shot on hole 1 as I do here on hole 2, I'll be good to go. Oh, that disc is so fun, man. That disc, go in the hole. Wow, that disc is a lot of fun. I love how it flips up. I hope you can see it. I know it's overcast, but still. So I really hope you guys could see what I just did on camera, but essentially, yeah, I parked the hole and it was a gorgeous, gorgeous just line. Boo. Let's go. Hole number 3, it is a backhand hole, but it's more of a placement shot hole for me since I don't have the backhand to actually get it to A, the spot it needs to get to, and B, just anywhere near the hole. So I'm gonna go with the Quake and I'm gonna throw it on an ante line and it should pan back out to the right and give me a good shot in on this hole. So let's do it.
Huh?
Oh, nice. So I threw that one a little far left. It was a really bad release, but it's in the middle of the fairway and I do have a good look in to this hole. Let me go show you. This is where my Quake landed, and as you can see, the hole is right over there. So a pretty good placement shot, which is exactly what I wanted to do on this hole. I'm gonna throw it on, or throw my zone on this ante line and have it pan back out and see if we have a good look at par.
You
right into the bush.
Suck.
Nice. So we finally get to bust out the Hypercane. All right, I'm very curious to see how this disc flies. Actually, I know how it flies, and I'm kind of disappointed. So hopefully I can get a better result today, but I'm gonna compare it to the Wraith. So let's throw the Wraith first, Hypercane second. I'm gonna try and have the Wraith kind of flip up. Just like that. That Wraith is just so silky smooth.
What?
And that's exactly where you want to be on this hole. That is so good. Now the Hypercane is very overstable, and I can't really have it flip up just like that Wraith did, so it's gonna be kind of disappointing. And I can't really have it flip up just like that Wraith did. See, that thing's just super overstable to where I put the Wraith on a hyzer line and it flipped up and it's in the middle of the fairway, probably about 250, and that Hypercane just went on that hyzer line. So, I mean, I know it's the disc, and I know that I could have gotten a more understable driver to flip up and have it do that, but it's just not my type of driver right now. We got a couple more holes to test out on though. So even though my Hypercane actually landed like 50 feet behind where this Wraith is, I'm gonna throw this Quake anyway because this Quake needs to be tested, and this is actually like the perfect position. I would throw my Quake, my zone can't get there, my T-bird would fly past the basket. So let's go with my Quake and park this boy for birdie. Just like that. It kind of flips up and then it's gonna pan back out right towards the basket. Give me a nice skip, and it's parked. Love that disc.
We're gonna take a look at how good this throw was. This Quake is everything I needed and more.
So here we are, we're gonna bust out the Quake again. And usually what I do on this hole, it's only 230 feet, so I throw a T-bird hyzer line, but I'm gonna go with a Quake and throw that on a hyzer and hopefully get it there and dump it down by the basket. That thing flips up like it's nobody's business, but that's right by the hole. Yeah, right by the hole.
Here's something for you. Back-to-back parks with the Quake. I have it looking at about a 5-footer here. Yeah, buddy. That disc is so good.
This hole I'm busting out the Hypercane again. I'm gonna give it a second try and see what it can do. I'm gonna also compare it to the D2 Kevin Jones stamp. This thing's beautiful. It'll flip up, it'll do whatever you want. What I'm gonna do different for this Hypercane is I'm gonna throw it on an Annie line and see if it holds that and then comes back out since it's so overstable. But actually, no, let's start with the Hypercane. That thing is solid, but that thing is just way overstable. I bet if I did the same exact thing with that D2, it would stay up and then it would come back down. Let's try and do that to kind of show you what I was gonna try and do. I mean, that D2 is pretty overstable too, but that held its line a little bit longer and it's down there. Let me throw a Wraith. See, that Wraith is just so good. That might be parked. I've never parked this hole before. Yeah, I love that disc. Wraith is probably my favorite go-to driver. Let's talk. So now that I've thrown these DGA discs out on the course, and I've had a couple of rounds before I actually filmed this video, and I know how each disc flies. And these are only 3 of the 20+ discs in their lineup. Is DGA one of the best kept secrets in all of disc golf? And I can firmly say, maybe. I really like their discs though. I really do. I would probably have to test out all the other companies that are really slept on, but honestly, I can say that these discs are awesome. And I am really probably gonna look into buying more DGA discs. Let me first start with the Quake. The Quake was an awesome disc to throw. This was absolutely what I needed in my bag for a 4-hand mid-range. I have my zone with me, and I have a purple zone too, but that doesn't really matter. But I have a zone. And this zone is perfect. It does anything that you want it to do, but it doesn't go as far as I need it to go, right? This Quake does exactly that. It fills that gap between the zone and a T-bird, say. I was not able to forehand a Mako before, and all I was able to do was just backhand it maybe 150 feet. So honestly, this Quake was probably the biggest add to my bag, and I'm so excited to use it in tournaments, in matches against friends and all that stuff. So Quake is an absolute must pick up if you are looking for a new disc, especially from DGA. Now let's go to the Pipeline. The Pipeline was an awesome disc as well. As you saw on hole 2, well, I hope you saw on hole 2 because it still is a little overcast. Hole 2 was an absolute perfect line. Threw it on a little hyzer, it flipped up a little bit and then panned back out to a hyzer. I thought I was gonna get an ace for a second. Didn't quite get the ace, but it was an absolute beauty. So if you throw this on the right line, if you throw this on whatever angle you want it to throw on, it's gonna flip up and then come back out. And it is just awesome. And that is why I can see so many people hype up the pipeline. It is just awesome. You can really do whatever you want it to do. Like on hole 3, I didn't record it, but I tested an anhyzer line instead of actually backhanding it, and this thing held its anhyzer line and then it barely panned out right before it hit the ground. So that might be my new, like, this is a backhand hole, but I can only forehand type of disc, right? Now the Hypercane. This is why I say DGA is a maybe on the most slept on disc company in all of disc golf, because this disc really isn't that good. I know it's a 13-speed disc or 14-speed disc, whatever it is, but honestly, it just didn't do what I wanted it to do. I know I have a lot of speed behind my forehand, and maybe if it was a backhand, I would be thinking different about the Hypercane, but honestly, this disc kind of let me down. So I would rather throw a, where are you? There they are. I'd rather throw a Wraith, which is an 11-speed driver, but honestly, I can do so much more with this and probably get the same, if not more distance than a Hypercane. Same goes for my Kevin Jones stamp D2. I can do so much more with it than this Hypercane. So really the only thing that let me down was this Hypercane, but if you're looking for a new DGA disc, guys, go ahead and pick yourself up a Quake, pick yourself up a Pipeline. I'm not sponsored. This was just super fun to test out. So that is what I suggest. If this video was helpful at all to you, go ahead and hit that like button. If it was not, hit that dislike button and leave a comment down below on if you've tried any DGA discs before and which one it was and if you liked it or not. Anyway, guys, that's gonna do it. I'll see y'all later. Peace out.